Some people fear being alone. Some fear being rejected. Scorpio fears something quieter and far more unsettling. They fear being emotionally exposed without control. Not seen, not known, but open, without protection. If you've ever tested someone before, trusting them, withheld vulnerability until safety was proven, or felt powerful emotions you didn't know how to release, this isn't intensity for drama's sake. This is Scorpio, and you're inside AstroMind now. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet of psychological depth, transformation, and power. In psychology, Pluto aligns with what we hide, repress, or guard fiercely. Scorpio doesn't skim the surface of emotion. They go straight to the core, which means they don't just feel love, they feel exposure. Scorpio experiences emotion as risk, not because they're paranoid, but because when they attach completely. Half-trust doesn't exist for Scorpio. Neither does casual vulnerability. So control becomes safety. Not dominance over others, but control over how much of themselves is revealed. Early in life, many Scorpios learn a painful lesson. That emotional openness can be used against you. Sometimes through betrayal, sometimes through broken trust, sometimes through being emotionally seen and then dismissed. So Scorpio adapts, they become observant. Private, selective, they watch before they engage. This creates Scorpio's core psychological pattern. Trust must be proven before vulnerability is allowed, and proving trust takes time. Scorpio doesn't open emotionally through words. They open through consistency. They notice behavior more than promises, tone more than explanations, patterns more than apologies. They test not to manipulate, but to measure safety. And if safety wavers, they retreat emotionally. Scorpio's intensity often intimidates others. But intensity is not aggression. It's emotional focus. Scorpio feels deeply but expresses selectively. They don't broadcast emotions, they contain them. Because once emotion escapes containment, it can't be taken back. One of Scorpio's greatest fears is losing emotional power. Not power over people, power over self. They fear being emotionally overwhelmed, dependent, or destabilized. So they keep leverage. Not to hurt, but to remain grounded. In relationships, Scorpio loves profoundly. But love without trust feels dangerous. So they move slowly, reveal layers gradually. Withdraw if they sense inconsistency, and when Scorpio withdraws, it's often misread. People assume manipulation, control, coldness. But internally, Scorpio is asking one question. Is it still safe to be here emotionally? Scorpio doesn't fear pain. They fear powerlessness within pain, feeling something deeply without the ability to regulate it. That's why they guard emotional access so carefully. Scorpio also struggles with forgiveness. Not because they can't let go, but because betrayal imprints deeply. Once trust is broken, emotional safety collapses. And rebuilding that safety takes more than words. It takes time, transparency, and consistency. When Scorpio feels emotionally unsafe, they may become distant or controlling. Not outwardly, internally, they analyze motives, reinterpret interactions, pull back vulnerability. They don't explode, they close. Scorpio's silence is powerful because it's deliberate. They speak when words matter. They withdraw when they don't. But this silence can become isolating, because guarding everything also blocks connection. A mature Scorpio begins to realize something crucial. That emotional control is not the same as emotional safety. That vulnerability doesn't erase power, it redistributes it. That trusting selectively is different from trusting no one. A healed Scorpio still protects themselves, but they stop testing endlessly. They communicate boundaries instead of enforcing them silently. They allow safe people to see more without fear of losing themselves. When Scorpio feels secure, they are transformative partners. Loyal, protective, emotionally deep. They don't love lightly, they love completely, but only when trust is real. If you love a Scorpio, honesty matters more than reassurance. Consistency matters more than intensity. Don't rush their vulnerability. Don't demand access. Safety opens them, pressure closes them. And if you are a Scorpio, your need for control is not toxic. It's learned, but you don't have to carry everything alone. Emotional safety doesn't come from guarding forever. It comes from choosing carefully who gets close. You've been listening to AstroMind, where emotional patterns aren't judged, they're understood. In the next episode, we'll explore how emotional power shifts when Scorpio finally feels safe enough to let go.